Hello my loves, welcome to my channel. My name's Hannah if you're new here. Today we have a message for you. I believe if this video is finding you, there is a reason, there's something here for you, but you're going to pick a card, right? So you're going to pick a card, you're going to pick between a pine cone, a shell or a crystal, whatever resonates with you. And you're going to pick the pile that calls out to you, the message that calls out to you, and we're going to see what your messages are, right? So we're going to have 3 separate messages, 3 separate piles, and you're going to get to choose your message, right? We'll just choose one card, a 1-card message, and we'll go into that card in detail, right, and see what that might mean for you. So choose your card. You've got the pine cone on the right, you've got the crystal in the middle, and you've got the shell. Which one sings to you? You know, which one's your message? Choose, and then we'll get into it. So, if you chose the pine cone, this is your card. We have the 6 of Wands. So I'm going to go into these cards in a bit of detail today. So the 6 of Wands, I'm really hoping you can see it. It's hard with this camera. I don't know if it's blurry or you can see it. But the 6 of Wands, first I'll talk about the number. So the 6 is like the pregnant woman, right? So she's, it's like recalibration, right? It's like you're resetting. And in the card, there is eagles flying above her head. There's a mountain in the background, and she's pulling away a wand. So she's unblocking her path, and there's a wreath on that wand that she's pulling away, right? And she's looking into the distance. There's almost like northern lights in the background, right? It's all pink, it's orangey, it's soft, gentle colours, right? 6 of Wands is hard gain victories. We know that it's hard gain victories by the mountain, right? The mountain shows that it's like, it's hard terrain, right? But hard gain wins, right? So Wands is fire, so it is masculine, feminine, and it is inspiration. What inspires you? Your power, your manifestation, your sexuality, right? Your authority in this sort of space. So this could have anything to do with a difficult situation you've been struggling with in terms of like a power imbalance, or something you've really wanted, something you've been really manifesting and you've been working on it for a really long time, and something is finally given. You've finally been able to pull something out of your way, and you can now see those rewards from something that's been happening. It's funny because this card is the one I chose, and I just got a job, and I've been manifesting this job with like my perfect days and everything for a year now. So like, you know, hard gain wins, you know, it hasn't been easy, but I kept choosing love over fear, and I kept being like, no, these are the days I want. These are the things that I want. I want it to be close to home. I want it to be these days so my son can be with his father. And it's been hard because I've had to really hold on and just keep believing that it'll come, and I have it. I'm starting on Monday, so it's all a bit exciting. But that's like very much this sort of card, you know, that's this sort of message. It's like, hey, what have you been really working on? What has felt really hard and kind of exhausting, but now something is opened in it. The fabric is opened, and you can see, I can see that hard work has paid off, yeah? So that is that first message, yeah? That's the pine cone, right? If you chose the crystal, the card in the middle, you have got 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Obviously this card, you know, they're dripping in wealth, right? There's like a chest of gold in the corner. They're like a secure family unit. They're all standing there. They're all looking at the camera. You know, looking at the camera in a tarot card, it shows power, right? It shows power. It shows strength. There's not confusion, you know. And Pentacles obviously is earth. It is feminine, masculine. And it's very much about the material realm, health, family, home, money, finance, yeah? So 10, obviously there's like, 10 is completion. When we talk about 10, it's completion. The cycle ends and then we start again, right? But in terms of this, it's like you're building something towards a long-term legacy. You know, this is legacy, this card. This is legacy. Building something for the long haul, right? this is also quite resonating, but I think we, in this very fast-paced world, we want everything yesterday, right? But things that you want, that you want to last for a long time, things that you want to have a solid foundation and that will support you for a really long time. And it's so true. It's in terms of health, finance, work, family. That needs to be a slow process, right? You really need to be diverting all your energy into that slow growth, you know what I mean? That really sturdy foundation for it to keep growing and growing and giving you fruit. That's this card, right? Because it's also 10. So because you pulled the 10, I feel like you've already been doing that work, right? So whether it's between your family or your home or your work or money, but you've been building something really slowly, and now you feel like, oh, I'm seeing the rewards of that. You know what I mean? My family life seems solid. My health seems solid. You know, with this card for health might be that you've been working out slowly over time, you know, building your strength slowly. And now you're starting to reap the rewards of that. You feel strong, you know. Your career, you might have been working something slowly with career. Now you feel strong, you know. So that is very much this card, you know. That's very much 10 of Pentacles. And then if you pick the shell, your message is 4 of Pentacles. I feel like I pull this card all the time when I do tarot reads on this channel. 4 of Pentacles. So 4 of Pentacles is interesting, right? You can see that she stands on a pentacle. She's holding 2 pentacles almost a bit possessively in her hands, and there's another pentacle at the top, right? So 4 is always security, stability. You know what I mean? 4, it's very even, you know. And then what comes after 4 is 5. You know, it's a new element, and it breaks the stability. So 4 is stability, right? In terms of 4 of Pentacles, though, we're talking about possibly a scarcity mindset. So this is very different to the other 2 messages. This is more looking at like, do you have a scarcity mindset around the material realm? Do you feel like you never have enough? Do you always compare with other people? Do they always seem to have more than you? And how come you don't have enough? This is what this card's this is what this card is bringing up, right? It's asking you to address that, to look at it. How do you view your finance in this world? How do you view your health? How do you view your work? In terms of money, this is very much what this is about. Does money work for you, or do you work for money? You know, who's the slave and who's the master? That's very much the themes that comes up with 4 of Pentacles, yeah? But very much a scarcity mindset. And I imagine if it's a scarcity mindset, you're working for money and not the other way. I'll tell you something really interesting. For the last 2 years, my partner and I have lived off a part-time wage, right? And it's crazy in this day and age. I'm in Australia. Australia's cost of living is very expensive, but it is all around the world. And everyone's like, how do you do it? It's a family of 3. How do you live off a part-time wage? And for the first kind of 2 years, you know, we made ends meet and we were okay. But for the last 6 months, I wrote up a budget, a very strict budget, and we counted every dollar where it went, right? We are not extravagant. We might go out once a month, but we have a son, so that's pretty standard for parents. But we have our separate dinners with our own friends. So let's say we go out, you know, 3 times a month or something. We live not in a luxurious space, but we don't live in scarcity because we feel very abundant. In these last 6 months that we've built up a budget, we have saved $8,000, yeah? We haven't worked more. We've just watched where every dollar went. My tarot, though, has definitely brought in some good chunks of money sporadically throughout that time. But, you know, that's the flip side of 4 of Pentacles, right? How can you view what you have as being really abundant? How can you rearrange things so you do feel abundant? So you're not holding on really tight to every dollar. Because it's like by having a budget, it's like it's enabled us to like expand in terms of our savings where we feel really affluent. So we might not have the newest shoes or the newest, you know, whatever, but we feel really affluent. We feel really rich, right? Because we haven't had to work harder. We've just worked smarter. So that's the flip side of the 4 of Pentacles, right? What are you looking at? Like, I never have enough. I never have enough. I'm always poor. This is scarcity mindset, yeah? Because there's always enough, right? There's always enough. There's always a different way to view things. So that's a message from that one, right? It's like, how can you view your resources differently? How can you make your money work for you and not be a slave to your money? You know, that's the 4 of Pentacles message. So they're the 3 messages for the day. I hope the one you chose resonated with you. I'm sorry I've got my hand up. It is so sunny here. if you like these videos, subscribe, write a comment about a message you'd like to see, you know, and we can pull anything in terms of, you know, I'd like a message around this or that. And I'll see you next time. Have a nice day, guys. I hope it's sunny where you are too.